Hi, everyone, and welcome to Seirim Cybersecurity Daily Report. Today, we're going to talk about the following news. The first one, mini Shai-Hulud attack hits NPM ecosystem, compromising over 600 packages. And the second news is Google Cloud suspended major customer Railway.com without cause, causing outage. Hi, Steven. How are you today?
I am doing great. Thank you for asking, and I'm happy to be here doing this today.
That's great. Let's dig in. A new mini Shai-Hulud supply chain attack has hit the NPM ecosystem, with researchers reporting hundreds of malicious package versions published in a very short window on May 19th, 2026. The campaign mainly affected the ANTV ecosystem, including packages used for data visualization and charting, along with other libraries such as EchoCharts for React, time ago size sensor, and canvas nest.js. Socket reported 639 malicious versions across 323 unique packages, while another report described at least 633 confirmed compromised versions. The attack appeared tied to the compromised NPM maintainer account, a tool. Malicious packages used payloads including root level index.js files triggered through pre installed scripts, and in some cases, phantom dependencies that referenced GitHub commits. The malware targeted developer and CI CD environments, scanning for GitHub and NPM tokens. AWS credentials, Google Cloud keys, Vault tokens, Kubernetes secrets, SSH keys, and database connection strings. A major feature of this wave was abuse of trusted supply chain signals. The malware could generate valid SIG-store certificates through Fultio and publish entries to record, making infected packages appear to have verified provenance. Stolen data was encrypted and exfiltrated through encrypted channels, with GitHub repositories also used as fallback storage. Researchers also noted worm-like behavior where stolen APM credentials could be used to modify and republish additional packages under compromised maintainer identities. Hey, Steven, what do you think about this news?
This is quite dramatic, as NPM is one of the largest or the largest repositories of code and all used by developers. So it's really key to let your developers know about this and make sure they are taking action, right? So some actions they can take are to check the versions that they're using, right? They should not
Yeah.
always automatically update to the latest versions of packages. They have to check and make sure that they're using safe versions and always be aware that these such dependencies are also a vulnerability in case hacked and malicious activity gets propagated through them, right? So another key takeaway is to always rotate exposed credentials and monitor your continuous integration and continuous development environments for anomalies, right? Because they can automatically input and receive these kinds of attacks. So, real key concerns there. Lastly, I would also advise groups to have a good incident response planning for their supply chain attacks, to have backups, have resilience, so you could always fall back in case this occurs, right? And we got to be proactive on our scanning. So, tools like SNCC, Dependabot, and NPM Audit can catch the vulnerabilities and unusual dependency behavior and suspicious scripts before they reach production. A lot for the developers and programmers in your environments and your companies to take a look at there.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, this is news for developers. Okay, so let's continue our podcast and let's talk about Google Cloud. Railway.com, a platform that automates cloud code deployment from GitHub repositories, suffered a widespread service disruption after Google Cloud temporarily suspended this account. The outage began around May 19th, 2026, about at roughly at 10 p.m. UTC, with users seeing errors such as no healthy upstream, logging failures, dashboard access problems, and deployment issues. Railway said its cloud resources appear to have disappeared before Google later explained that the account suspension had made those resources invisible. The incident was especially serious because Railway reportedly spends more than $10 million a year on Google Cloud and still relies on Google for its control plane and some databases, even after moving much of its infrastructure to colocation following earlier Google Cloud problems. Railway escalated the issue directly with Google, but said it took about an hour for support to engage. By 3 a.m. UTC on May 20th, more workloads were coming back online, though some users still had intermittent issues and non-enterprise deploys remained paused. Google had not yet publicly explained why the account was suspended. So this is crazy.
Crazy.
Uh,
This is incredibly disconcerting and alarming, right? So we're always
yeah.
worried about servers going down or services failing, right? And so we have multiple clouds as backups, and you have
Mhm.
multiple components and resilience. But what we can fail to remember is that the Google Cloud itself, I'm sorry, the account itself is a point of failure, right? So
Mhm.
if your whole account can go down, then all of the services and dependencies under that account can go down, even though within your account you might have redundancy and resilience. If the whole account goes down, you're screwed. And that's what happened here to them.
Mhm.
Now, they also were let down by a lack of support. If you're spending $10 million a year, Google should give you good support and they should be there. And
Yeah, that's for
from other
sure.
things that I read about this incident as well, they had a really hard time getting a hold of them. So that does not bode well for Google services. Getting good emergency contacts at the support level is key in advance as well, right? So in our companies, we know we have to, for incident response, have a good communications plan between each other inside the company, but it's also important to have good communication planned in advance with your dependencies and your accounts. So they rely on Google so heavily, they need to make sure that they have good communications and good contacts at Google that they can communicate with in case of an issue. So it's really important to set those up in advance, right? At a lot of our accounts that we have, what support plan do we have, right? We have to make sure that matches our risk tolerance. If it's such an important account, then you would ideally be paying for the best support or a high level of support to make sure that such an integral point of failure has good support along with it, right? The key thing that failed here was the control plane, right? They have more servers in different locations and they have a lot of redundancy in many other ways, but just this one control plane was a failure. So ideally, they could have a secondary control plane that if this failed, another could pick it up, right?
Yeah, that's for sure.
So if they had that, it would help. And I think it's a lesson learned that when we look at our services that we provide to our customers and clients, at every point, if any one thing could fail, what does it take out? Do we have a plan to account for that? So that's all part of resilience that we all have to plan for. So that's my takeaways for that.
Thank you very much, Stephen, for your takeaways. And thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned and see you tomorrow. Okay, bye.
Thank you.